Hey guys, this is Al. What I'm going to do is just record so that way the conversations and things that Al and I have make it across to you guys so that way you can kind of be the next best thing to you being here. So he's going to walk us through some different things. As you know, I'm not the best videographer, but I'll try.
So, very good inspection, was able to get everywhere that I was able to see for the most part. Let's see, biggest thing is it's still a construction zone, and there's just a lot of unfinished parts, blemishes and things like that should be fixed. Well, Monday is your day. So they're going to be working up until the very end. Got a slideshow here. Oh, just
cool.
so you guys know, you can reach out to me after the sale goes through. Years go by, whatever. As long as I'm still here in town, then I should be able to answer questions if possible.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, cover photo, of course, front walkway is not finished. Downspouts are close to the foundation. I do not know, of course, they've covered the ground with this bark, but downspouts coming off the roof that should extend a little bit farther away from the house, in my opinion.
Okay.
Not a big deal, but you've got slab on grade. They usually don't have the issues that a crawl space would have with moisture so much. Well, if they do, it would manifest itself in movement. But we won't know that for.
That was one of the things the information from Capstone had, is that there was no vertical displacement in any of the cracking, and that I noticed that as well. There was that you could see the cracks, but that everything was completely level and there hadn't been any of that. Again, I'm not the expert, but my understanding is that
concrete cracks as it dries. So if it's drying cracks, it's not a big deal. They will put expansion joints in, like in the garage. They're there, and that gives the concrete a little bit of movement. Otherwise, if it's one big slab, yes, you can have drying cracks. But in any case, it's a home and water don't mix very well. I would put downspout extensions on.
Okay.
The grading is generally level, so you're relying on the gutters to move a lot
Get
of
the water away.
So that's this front corner by the garage, and you can see it just ends right there. If it came out a little bit farther, then hopefully
some sort
pretty
of
much hard to tell, but have it
something to get it away from sitting on the front of the house.
Yeah. So paint is going to be coming, but there's lots of areas that are not painted. Lots of debris. There's a little chip. It's a bad picture, but there's a little chip on the siding, and they should be able to clean that up. This area is not painted. They've got overcuts that will nick the super, just so that they will get those taken care of.
Cool.
Most likely, they will caulk those seams.
And that's appropriate. Okay, cool.
Again, the gutter close to the foundation, and then once it's on the ground, we don't really have a place for it to go.
Okay.
So move it farther away from the house. Give it to the neighbors. You have a heat pump system. These are nice and efficient. It is electric. It's brand new. It's working just fine. The heat was way high in here, so had to actually turn it down.
Yeah, when I was in here last, it was warm.
Like in the 80s. Yeah.
And I remember seeing the box, I think, had the Trane on the thermostat. I don't know what are the AC's Trane, and this is a different?
It's the same.
Okay.
So you've got, that is your condensing coil on the outside.
Okay.
And so it will send the refrigerant to the evaporator coil that is in the attic.
Okay.
And whether it's heating or cooling, that will that will do the energy changeover, the temperature changeover in that evaporator coil, and then a blower fan blows it throughout
Gotcha.
the ductwork to the ceiling
Okay.
vents. We'll go over that a little bit more.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So there's the appropriate shutoff for the condenser unit. You've got 2 hose bibs. They worked flawless. Make sure if you have a hose attached to them, you undo the hose in the wintertime. Otherwise, the water can build up and freeze.
Ooh, yeah, anything that we Phoenix folk wouldn't know would be awesome.
Okay. Sure thing. Well, we'll do our best.
Yeah, I don't expect you to know our failings, but
Pretty much, it's going to be driveways.
Okay.
And then you're north facing,
okay,
so your driveway is going to just
be covered in
be ice.
snow. Okay.
So, try not to use ice melt too much. It can harm the surface of your pavers that
Okay.
you've got up in your driveway. But sometimes you just have to. But otherwise, you just get up here and shovel the snow or have a snow blower. You don't have a big. This is not a very large driveway.
Right.
Or have a service to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then otherwise, you've still got snow up on the roof right here, and right over there where there's lots of shade. And that's just gonna happen. If you can, just keep the snow away from just sitting against your siding, if possible.
Okay.
If you have
Big pileups on the ground.
pileups, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as water, like let's say, because they're not going to be here all the time, if they're going to go away for 3 weeks and they're not going to be back, is
Sure.
there what do they do?
Nothing.
Okay.
Turn your heat down,
Mm-hmm.
but leave it at. Homes like to be lived in. They don't like to have
Right.
huge temperature fluctuations. That's how cracks happen in the drywall. And if the power goes out, there's nothing you're going to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go through a cold snap, damage can happen. But get a programmable thermostat
Okay.
that you can, or a smart thermostat, so that you know what's going on with the house. You can, obviously, if this is not going to be used all that much, I mean, they've got so many internet-based systems that can keep track.
Right.
This is an internet oven. You can
Oh,
start
wow.
it, you can preheat it, I guess, as you're driving home.
Man, that'd be cool.
I
could-
think I'd crash the car trying to set But anyway, so there's all sorts of smart
Mm-hmm.
gadgets that you can use to keep aware of your home while
Okay.
you're away. Garage door openers
Yeah.
is one thing. And then the internet-based, what are they? The camera systems.
Mm-hmm. Ring doorbell type
Those
stuff.
work-
Yep.
Yep. So those work fairly nice.
And anything, you said take the hoses out if there's going to be a freeze. Anything else they need to think about with their pipes with it being winter?
Nope.
Even if they're not going to be run for a while, like it is what it is?
You can again put, there are anti-flooding devices from manufacturers that will go onto like a water line in your house to where if it notices that there's a flood, it can turn it off.
Okay.
Or if there's an issue, it can turn the water service off.
But pipes don't freeze, or that's what I don't know how those things work.
So we are on a slab foundation. Everything is buried in the ground, or it is coming up through the slab, and we're not going to freeze below our slab.
Okay.
The temperature, the ground out there can freeze, down 3 feet, but underneath the house, we've got enough residual heat that you should be good.
So as long as the house is kept not freezing inside, it's protected underground, and it's
Should be,
protected
yes.
within there. Yeah, should be is the case for anything,
Yes.
of course.
Crawl spaces that have ventilation going through, those pipes get insulation put on them, and even that does not guarantee that
Right.
pipes don't burst.
Okay.
You've got PEX plumbing, so it's a plastic, it can expand up to twice its size, and so those don't burst anyway. Fittings could.
Yeah.
But, as long as the heating is not
go kaput.
doesn't go down,
Right.
then should be good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah, no
explaining
worries.
that. My in-laws or my grandparents had a manufactured home in Munns Park.
Yes.
So I always remember them talking about winterizing and pipes
Yes.
and I don't know, I didn't know if there was anything they needed to think about. It's a
Not
very different world.
very different. Yeah. Much better insulation now.
Yeah.
So just a lot of construction debris. You've got looks like cement spillage.
Okay.
So everything's going to get cleaned up, or everything should
Right.
get cleaned up, painted, and put back properly. You guys are probably familiar with this.
That's
This
their
is
overflow?
Overflow for the condensate air conditioning drain pan. The air conditioner does have a sensor shut off that will, if it notices the primary drain is backed up, it will shut the system off.
Okay.
So if you can't get the AC to turn on,
Poke your head in the attic and see what's going on.
yeah, that's a
Look
good
at that pan and make sure it's not.
If you ever see this guy dripping, then call an HVAC tech right away.
Yeah. So I think you guys know this from Phoenix. This is your overflow one that there's a different one that's going to drip out all the time. No worries if it's on the bottom. The one on the top, if you see it dripping, that means that there's a backup in the system and you want to call. It's nice. They've started putting them over windows so that way you kind of can maybe
Yes.
notice it a little bit earlier than you would have otherwise.
Paint. Just a reference shot.
Okay.
Again, gutter
Good.
downspout close to the foundation.
Okay.
Not a big deal. They cost a few bucks. But as you can see, if the rain falls, if it doesn't get caught in the gutter, it's just
It's just
yeah, it's
pooling
fine.
there.
And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Right? The next hose bib, again, no drips, no issues. Good water pressure was right where it's supposed to be. Your solar is not hooked up yet. The meter is not on, and your solar disconnect is in the off position.
So the system is in place, it's just that it's not doing anything yet,
Correct.
right? I believe APS has to come out and set that up after they close, is my understanding.
Yes,
But
yes.
everything looks good for how it's set up, as best as
I
doubt.
am not, a solar installation is not part of
Yeah.
a home inspection because to truly do a solar inspection,
you have to be a solar expert.
Yeah.
From what you don't
But-
see anything concerning.
But from I've looked at lots of these, this looks lovely.
Okay.
And it's a very nice, Enphase is a good company.
Okay, cool. Do they have a spot in the garage that there's a hook in or anything for it, if I recall?
For
Like
the solar?
it's all on the outside of the house.
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking that maybe they had something with being able to charge a vehicle, but I will have
They
to go.
do.
Oh, that's
There
in.
is a EV outlet,
Okay.
but if you're looking for like solar going directly to a battery bank that you would then, no, there is not a battery bank
Gotcha.
or a storage
Gotcha.
system. This is just
So-
grid-tied solar.
So the solar is there, and you can plug in your car is there, but they're separate systems. The one.
The solar is tied into the grid,
Okay.
and then the grid
We'll feed that outlet.
feeds the house.
Okay.
So
Cool.
You've got 2 meters, one for what is it's the dumbest thing ever, but APS can charge you for 2 meters. So 1 meter tallies the production of the solar panels that is going into the system. The other meter tallies the
Zapping from the house.
what you're using.
Okay.
And they don't pay you very much for the solar that you produce, and they charge you a lot for the power that they use.
Yep.
So
Cool. Thank you.
this is an outlet consistent with a Christmas light outlet or heat tape outlet.
Okay.
And I believe, I cannot prove this, but I believe the switch is out in the garage.
Okay.
We've got a picture of it coming up. There is your electric panel. Looked very nice. So that was our temperature at 8:30. Still freezing. Electric was nice. No issues. This is the unit with the dead front cover off. That's a 220 or 200 amp service. Sorry about that. We had smoke detectors turned off,
Okay,
and that's appropriate for the building that
Yeah.
is still covered up.
makes sense.
There is a metal roof that is going to be installed, they said today, and so that area is open.
And that's not, since it's a metal roof, it's, what should we look for when we get there Monday? Obviously, we're not gonna go up on it, but what should we, since it's not there now for you to look at?
It's
What
going to
would,
be very tough to see what it would look like. You'd want to climb up there
Okay.
and look for appropriate flashing coming from underneath their bottom flashing onto the top of the roof and then the roof down below.
Okay.
So that pretty much just sheds water.
okay,
So
yeah,
that'd be
that's,
tough.
yeah, okay,
All right, driveway pavers, everything besides construction debris on it, everything looked appropriate.
we're pretty. I
We are
like-
now into the garage.
Okay,
There is a GFCI, so ground fault circuit interrupter,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all throughout the house, in the kitchen, bathrooms, anywhere there's water or potential for
Mm-hmm.
water. And all it does is it measures for electricity going through the wrong path, which i.e. would be if you drop the
Mm-hmm. right,
something in the sink, electrical
Mm-hmm.
in the sink. It will measure that to a microamp and
shut the
the switch off. They're very neat, but when they don't work, they can be a pain. So this one is in your garage. It also powers your garage door opener. So
Oh.
always have a secondary access method to the house.
Okay.
In case, because
Do you
I
mind
always,
if we go look at
Sure.
where that is? Because I'm curious if it where they plug their fridge into, which you wouldn't want to be on a GFCI either.
I did not notice a dedicated circuit for a refrigerator.
Oh no, that's fine. Just if you know how sometimes you have the extra
Right.
garage fridge.
So here is the GFCI,
Okay.
and that handles everything in here.
Okay.
Except, well, this one is GF. So this runs this circuit wall.
Gotcha.
That one runs over to here.
Okay.
I believe. But this one also runs your garage door opener.
Cool.
So if that trips while you're out and you don't have a key and your main entrance is your garage
Gotcha.
door clicker, you're not getting in.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And then, so all of these have the potential to trip. There isn't one that wouldn't trip that they could plug a fridge into.
Correct. There is not a. I did not notice a dedicated circuit for a garage
Yeah.
refrigerator, which is you can have those.
Yeah.
And
So
it would be
if-
the electrician coming in and
If these are this wall, if they were to plug it in there, it would have to be something had tripped on one of these to be problematic, right?
say this one more time, please.
If they plug it in there,
Yep.
sorry, that I'm trying to make my finger match, and it would have to have been tripped on one of these. It's not if anything trips anywhere in the house, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
And same thing for those two in that wall
Uh,
there, or does that go
I think
inside?
This guy is on that one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
That does not make sense. This guy should be on.
gotcha.
In any case.
They all could trip, so be aware if something goes off, your fridge might not be running anymore.
Correct.
Okay,
And
cool.
Whatever is in it can swirl.
Yep.
But an electrician can easily put in a dedicated circuit.
Okay, cool. If that's something they're worried about.
This door has the
Oh yeah.
weather stripping is not there, so this door slams.
Yeah, I saw the light through it earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's that. So you've got screen doors and window screens. There's a stack of them in the garage, but they're
Okay.
not installed yet. Okay, whole house water shutoff valve right here. Pressure.
Oh, inside.
Yeah, pressure reduction valve right
Okay.
there. And your bonding, so that is a-okay.
Okay, so guys, if there's ever a time where something is flooding and you need the whole house off, that's your switch
Valve.
valve.
You have a heat pump water heater, so these are much more efficient. This is electric. You have an electric circulation pump, so you've got hot water on demand.
Okay.
Or hot water circulating through the system, so that every time you flip on the switch or flip on your faucet, hot water is readily available.
Oh, cool.
It is not hooked up, so I was not
Oh.
able to test that. The electric to the box is not installed. So
So we can't test the hot water. Okay.
So what you're going to do Monday, this should be installed. Turn on the hot water, see if it gets hot, and go outside, see if this pump is plugged in, and it should be very quiet. But you can put your hand on it
And feel that it's moving. Okay. And it should get hot relatively quickly because of that system.
Yes.
Okay.
Doorbell transformer, little mark where they put the wire through, so that should get cleaned up.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
When you're going through the house, like any blemishes that you see that make your eye twitch, if it makes your eye twitch, they,
Yep.
you know,
They can make it right.
it's a new house.
Agreed. It should be perfect that
We were
first day.
just talking about the weather stripping on that door. This is the garage house entry door, and the weather stripping is not present. Post tension slab, I got no problems. Everything looked, from what I could see,
Cool.
was appropriate.
Good. Glad to hear that. And I know, yeah, you could see a little bit of the cracking in the floor of the garage. So all of that looked, you didn't see anything that gave you any red flags or anything?
Nothing.
Awesome.
Nothing. Expansion joints, everything is there. It's,
Cool.
we are, what door is this?
Front door.
Oh, thank you. Yep. Paint,
It's supposed to be orange. Hopefully it'll be orange on Monday.
very good.
I know that's your main concern.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was the missing light bulb in the attic that really threw me. No, so now we are in what they're calling the casita
Okay.
room, and the gentleman was working on the microwave or the stove unit. He's working on the cabinetry, so that was not installed.
Okay.
Water worked fine. The wine fridge was not installed, or it was installed, it was not plugged in.
Okay.
And
Is there is there a place for them to plug it?
I would definitely think so. Let's go take a field.
All right. A field trip.
So, so that one's got that outlet right there. And there is an outlet up there,
Okay, great.
and we're missing the cover plate, which is right there.
Okay, cool. Alrighty.
So, water works fine, of course, no hot water.
Cool.
Was
Look how
present.
pretty it looks. I like it.
Attic access is, there's an attic access, 3 attic accesses.
Yeah, we've been joking they're going to do a bunk bed. They have two little boys, two preschoolers, toddler and preschooler, kindergartner actually now. But that they're going to do bunk beds in that room with the attic access, and they're like, we're just asking for our toddler to climb into the attic.
Yeah. Toilet worked fine, ding in the wall, so that should get fixed up. Okay, we are now into the main living room, and we have an electric receptacle that is consistent with a switched.
Okay.
So this guy is not energized, this guy is.
Okay.
If there is a switch for that one, I cannot find it.
Okay.
We have another electric receptacle right here that is switched, and the switch is over here on this wall panel
Okay.
over here. But I could not locate that one. I would.
Cool. We'll ask
Yeah,
them
that
about
would be
that.
something I'd definitely ask about.
Cool.
Light bulb's not installed, so I couldn't test that. We got a pellet stove. These things are awesome.
Oh, cool.
So enjoy. Read the instructions, and yeah, they're excellent. They do not work if the electricity goes out.
Okay.
That's the only bummer. They do make battery backup ones, but yeah, neat,
Gotcha.
neat feature. So
Are there any, like, do the smoke detectors have carbon monoxide or anything? Is there anything they need to, again, we're not used to this, that they need to consider, think about, worry about with a pellet stove?
not really. If it's doing its job
Okay.
correctly, then it is seamless. It draws outside air in. It just puts heat into the house, and all your gases should go up the flue.
Okay.
You could put in a, I do not, the smoke detectors are covered.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a dual,
A carbon monoxide on there or not?
correct, but they're very simple to install.
Okay.
And actually, you could just plug one in right over.
Right next, in the room with it, yeah.
Um,
But not on the one that's on the switch.
correct. So, this door, the lock mechanism, the receiver is not present.
Okay.
The next door over, the handle is not installed.
Well, does it have the lock mechanism, or we? No, I'm just teasing.
All right. So they have filters in place on ceiling registers, three different areas.
Okay.
One here, one in the primary bedroom, and then a filter for the return air. In this
Okay.
as well. So that may be for just the construction period, because in the attic you have a filter box
Okay.
right before the blower, so you could put one filter in to the whole system instead of having three.
Oh, okay.
If
If you want to go up in the attic and change it.
yes.
Okay.
Attic's got decent access, but you would have to crawl on the platform to get over to the.
Sounds like a job for the toddler who wants to go up there anyway.
Yeah. Again, next toilet, bathroom, everything worked just fine. This is the electronic ventilation recovery unit, and it is malfunctioning right now. It is a known issue, and they're going to have somebody come and take a look at it. And also, they need to
Yeah.
clean up their drywall.
Now, is that the system that draws the fresh air in?
Yes.
Is that and that's something that you would leave on even if they're gone,
Yes.
correct? The
Yes.
only time you turn it off is if there's a dust storm or something?
No.
Not at all? Okay.
Just let it roll. It is self-contained. It's quiet. We don't get dust storms. We get pollen. We get
Okay.
a lot of pollen, so that's going to help out greatly with allergies. If anyone's
And is there a filter or anything they need to do with that?
that, I'm going to research that.
Okay,
That's
cool.
why I went back and took another picture, because
Thank you.
usually when I open those up, there is a filter
Mm-hmm.
system. I did not. I need to research it.
Sounds good.
These are newer inventions,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've never seen this model.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We started about 5 years ago with just a switch,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and our descriptors are always leave it unless there's a dust storm, then close it.
Right, right.
Which is interesting.
We're into the hall bathroom. Toilet was fine, sink's fine. Again, the picture's just showing that the smoke detectors are turned off and covered right now. But once they're done with the construction, they will take those off. A lot of light fixtures are not present. This is your HVAC. Come in, thermostat. Thank you. And again, you can switch that out to a smart thermostat, and have access when they're down in the valley. Was able to inspect that. Everything worked just fine. We are. Oh, perfect. Let's go do another field trip.
Okay, I think my camera turns off at 30, which I'm almost at, so let me hit stop and then start another one.
Perfect.